Hey guys, it's Jay from ASMR for Nerds. We're just gonna go along and continue our Infinity Gauntlet reading. We're up to video number 4, and how far have we gotten so far? Well, we finished the first book, the first trade, which is called The Rebirth of Thanos, which basically, just to recap real quick, Silver Surfer was taken around the universe by Thanos and shown his ultimate plan, which was to rid the universe of much of its life because he and Death, or at least Thanos thinks that Death feels that there's too much life in the universe and the balance is off. Obviously, that's a parallel to Earth, but even back then it seemed to be a problem, and now it's even more. But enough of that. So after Silver Surfer is shown his plans, Thanos goes on what's called the Thanos Quest, where he got every Infinity Gem from different beings across the universe. He defeated the Champion, the Gardener, the In-Betweener, the Grandmaster, and the Runner, I think his name was. So, and the Collector too. So that's how he got all 6. So, what I'm going to do here first, since now we're ready to actually read the Infinity Gauntlet story arc, I'll show you my issues that I have. We'll read the number 1 I have in an issue, because I have 2. I have 2 extremely good copies of this. One is basically mint, so I'm going to take it out and show it to you guys. It'll be the first time I took it out of the bag. I have never taken it out of the bag since I bought it, so this is a bit of a gamble. Of course I have these 2 holiday orcs. So this is my, like I said in my last video, one of my favorite parts, if not the favorite part of my collection. Not worth the most, but I don't know. To me, it is. So let's crack it open. Okay, so I'm going to take it out with the board. I'm going to be careful here. Oh my god, look at this copy. Holy cow. I mean, I don't know how well you guys could see, but this copy is perfect. It's perfect. Oh, there's a fingerprint. Looks like there's just one. God. Well, I thought it was perfect. That's why you open things up. It's basically perfect, except it has a little fingerprint here. I don't even know if you can remove that. I mean, but look at the edges. It's about as clean as a copy gets. Corners. That's a great copy. Yeah, looks like someone maybe ate this with potato chips or something. Oh well. I mean, the inside too. Just like mint condition. Well, I'm disappointed that now that I got it out of the bag, I noticed these fingerprints, although I'm not looking to sell it, so I'm just gonna sadly put it back. That's okay, I'm still happy with it. I didn't pay a ton for it, so maybe that's why. Okay. So, first thing we're gonna do after we crack this one open is we're gonna read, like I said before, issue 1 in the trade, and then we're gonna do the rest of the issues. Issue 1 in the issue itself, and then issue 2 through 6 out of the trade book, because I don't have doubles of those. You know, this copy, now that I looked at the other one, although it has a couple of imperfections, might be in the same condition because of those fingerprints. Either way, they're both in really good shape. Okay, so I have my tracing pen here, however, I'm not going to do tracing in the issue as to not damage it, or maybe I will, but very lightly. Maybe, hoping you'll be able to hear it. So, let's get into it, guys. We are here at the Infinity Gauntlet main story arc. You're gonna like this. Got an ad for G.I. Joe trading cards. Let's read the bottom. Fine print. Infinity Gauntlet Volume 1, Number 1, July 1991. Published by Marvel Comics. Terry Stewart, President, Stanley Publisher. Michael Hobson, Group Vice President, Publishing. Office of Publication, 387 Park Avenue, South, New York. A whole lot of their text, too, that probably doesn't matter. So, Stan Lee presents the Infinity Gauntlet. Kind of looks like Star Wars letters there, but maybe that's on purpose. Okay, let's go. Oh, this is written by the infamous Jim Starlin. So let's see how Jim Starlin saw this play out. There can be no denying it. You are supreme. Anything you wish to be, you are. Anything you wish is. Nothing in this universe dares challenge that claim. There be only one word to describe you. God. Within your grasp rests the infinite. My humble personage bows first acolyte and bask in the glory of your divine presence. How may I serve you, great Thanos? That's Mephisto, who's basically the devil, leader of the underworld. By falling silent, Mephisto. Here we have writer Jim Starlin, pencils by George Perez. So that's a change from what we've been seeing so far of the artist as Ron Lim in the Silver Surfer issues so far. Josef Rubinstein with Tom Christopher as inkers. Jack Morelli and Max Scheele with Ian Laughlin as letters and colors. Craig Anderson as the editor. Tom DeFalco, chief. So, now that we got started, I'm going to crack into one of these Yorks. Okay. Let's keep going. The moment is upon us when the stars must come to realize the absolute truth of your words. None shall deny me my righteous place in the pantheon of the cosmic gods. I claim a seat at the head of the table. There are secrets hidden within the heavens that even I, the master of the mystic arts, am not privy to. Doctor Strange is but a mage, not some all-knowing deity. It had been an uneventful day, and my hope was that the night would be the same. Alas, such good fortune was not to shine on me. I was in the midst of a late dinner when I first became aware of the approaching crisis. Will you be going out tonight, Master? Only as far as my mind and this book will take me, Wong. A medical journal about an outbreak of insanity in the Catskill Mountains. What caused this epidemic? No one seems to correct. By the Vishanti, what was that? Aimee and Rintara are out shopping, which means we have an intruder on the premises. One who will surely regret choosing this house too. What do you think it's going to be? You. Of all the people I imagined might be lurking in my study, the Silver Surfer was not among the list. And the truth is, he wasn't exactly lurking. He seemed barely capable of opening his eyes and moaning. Strange must reach strange. You have my friend. Wong, help me get him to the sofa. Surfer, can you hear me? Yes, I came to warn you. Warn me? Warn me about what? Great danger coming this way must be stopped. Oh, what? His arrival could herald the end of the universe. Thanos is coming. I know you thought him dead. He was, but he is no longer. How could any of us know that Mistress Death would resurrect this monster? Apparently, Death has long thought the fact that there are more people alive today than have ever died was a type of cosmic imbalance. This was an irregularity she sought to right, using the dark powers at her disposal. And so she made the tragic mistake of retrieving Thanos, the Mad Titan, from the realm of the dead. Through him, Death would mold the universe to her liking. Along with renewed life, Death gave him greatly augmented power. Thanos would need this might to perform the dark task his mistress assigned him. I don't think this copy's ever been read the way the pages sit. So if you see a comic, if you open an old comic and it doesn't lie flat in any way, that likely means it was never read. So that's nice. Death has ordered Thanos to slaughter half the sentient population of the universe. For long months, Mephisto, I have contemplated the direction in which I should steer the destiny of this reality. All the myriad possibilities, so many choices. I do not envy you such astral burdens. At this time, it seems I would drown under an infinity of self-questioning. But at long last, I realize there is but one question that needs answering. I am now omnipotent. What should I do with such almighty power? The answer to that is really quite simple. Anything I want. Boom. The NBA is jamming on Game Boy. Horse around with Charles Barkley. Go one-on-one with Isaiah Thomas. Star in your own NBA All-Star Tournament. Shootout with Patrick Ewing. Match free throws with Chris Mullin. Play alone or head-to-head against a friend. Love these old ads and these little pictures of the crappy games. I am incapable of error. Any result that displeases me, I can simply reverse. There is nothing I need worry on, for I am Thanos, and Thanos is supreme. Most definitely supreme. As they focus in on the infinity, the soul gem. But Thanos was too arrogant to be anyone's thrall. His sinister scheme was conceived while gazing into the depths of Death's infinity well. There he learnt of the soul, or infinity gem's true power, and convinced his dark mistress that the task assigned him could not be carried to fruition without him. Not even Death realized that limitless might the Mad Titan was striving for. Through cutting, sheer strength, and murder, Thanos wrested the infinity gems from those that possessed them, and with each acquisition he gained mastery over the soul, the mind, power, time, reality, space. In other words, Thanos now has the unbridled power of a god. No longer do the laws of nature bind him. His will can bend the very fabric of reality. He is all, and all there is now his to command. Thanos is now mightier than Death herself, more powerful than any force in the universe. Such a force in the hands of a madman, a nihilist. It could mean the end of all that is. They were all grade A losers. We first became aware of them as they stepped out of a bar in some place called upstate New York. Naturally, they were tanked to the gills. We should have got out of here hours ago. We're hot. The ringleader was a cold-eyed brute called Jake Miller. Getting pretty tired of your always nagging, Fats. The tub of Lord was Ralph Bunker. You just don't knock off a liquor store, waste the shopkeeper, and spend the rest of the day in a bar. The blonde bimbo went by the name of Bambi Long. Can you believe it? Fats, you just gotta learn to relax and enjoy life. Can't you two get it through your heads? We gotta get out of state, maybe up to Canada. We are. The cops will be looking for us on the thruway. Then we take the back roads, no sweat. I know 'em like the back of my hand. What a jerk that Jake was. Guess the big lug forgot about one certain curve on the back of his hand. Because he drove off at doing better than 65. No one survived the sudden stop at the bottom of the cliff. Not realizing the extent of Thanos' new might, a being called the Destroyer and I foolishly confronted that Titan. It almost proved to be a fatal miscalculation on our part. We were but helpless puppets within his grasp. He toyed with us, laughing all the time. My much lauded cosmic might was nothing compared to the power Thanos brandished. Then, when he finally tired of us, the Mad Titan used the power of the Soul Gem to steal our spiritual essence. So this all happened, I believe, in issues of Silver Surfer, maybe. When we awoke from the ordeal, the Destroyer and I found ourselves within the metaphysical world of the Soul Gem. It was the most bizarre place I've ever encountered. It was there that I met a strange and enigmatic man called Adam Warlock, apparently the spiritual leader of the soul world. Encountering him was an experience I'll long remember. It was through a spell cast by him that the Destroyer and I were able to return to this reality, a harrowing escape. By the time we regained our bodies, Thanos had departed to an unknown destination to consider the best use he could make of this newfound divinity. We were informed of this development by the longtime enemy Mephisto, for reasons all his own, and warned that we should fortify our universe against the Titan's inevitable return. I immediately set out for Earth to spread the word of approaching danger, but unfortunately, many an event kept me from reaching this world until now. I pray my warning has not come too late, so do I. I stand in awe of Thanos' might and his ability to wield it as if it has always been a part of him. In the twinkling of an eye, the Titan whisks us off to the Hall of Death, a realm even I have never dared trespass in. And in a blinding flash of epiphany, I realize a most disturbing truth. Even ultimate power does not make you the master of all you survey. Mistress Death, my love, I have returned. It is my most sincere hope that you have at last forgiven me my duplicity in gaining the Infinity Gems. It would appear she hasn't. My lord, my sympathies, you are not deserving of such brusque treatment. No, I am not. The big guy waited until the fires had cooled some before sending us in. It would have been nice of him to give us some warning. He was making his move. But no, there was this blinding flash, a feeling of vertigo, and the three of us were in our new homes, So those people who got in a car accident before, for better or worse, this body is dead, and it's been charbroiled. It's a mess. I can't go walking around looking like this. You shall not have to. My powers are healing and modifying these husks to fit our specific needs. But the transmutation will take time. We will need a place to rest while I complete my handiwork. Looks like we're in luck. I appear to be the least damaged of the three of us, so I shall arrange for our lodging. Wait here for me. Hey babe, you ought to check yourself out in the mirror. You're turning green. How nice. So much power in the possession of one who has barely reached the status of godling. The very thought boggles my mind. Thanos could destroy even me, but with a thought, yet his basic soul remains on the edge of mortality. Is he capable of managing the forces now under his command? Or will his fragile heart be his undoing? Darling mistress, your scorn wounds me deeply. It was never my intention to wrong you, nor do I believe I have. True, I did use the powers you granted me to seek out the Infinity Gems to become the Supreme Being that now stands before you. But I only sought such glory in order to become worthy of your love. Your heart deserves better than the thrall I was. I had no other choice than to become your equal, not equal, superior. Now, Mistress Death is nothing more than your love slave. That was a position you chafed in. But she is the keeper of my heart. How can she find such status any less stifling? Your love is bondage. My love is worship. The mistress of the Hall of Death has no need for sycophants. No, you are wrong. Death should be revered. Shrines should be built to her. Yes, shrines. What merit has beauty, be it not cherished and honored? How can I gaze so deeply into my loved one's soul and not build monuments to her? I be now a deity, yet first I was a man. My adoration for death was the only mortal trait worth bringing me to this lofty plateau. So fault me not for celebrating this fiery passion and the focus of such deep emotion. Come, sit at my side, dearest one. In the depths of the eternal night, you and I are queen and king. Our domain be all the universe. From these thrones we shall decide the fate of 1,000,000 solar systems and all that inhabit them. From this vantage point tomorrow shall be designed. As a token of my heartfelt esteem, Mistress Death, I give thee all that is. She doesn't seem too happy. Still she spurns me. Perhaps it is because she does not yet realize the stagnant depths your black soul is capable of achieving. What do you mean? Mistress Death is a dark spirit, ebon in her ways. Her mate must be a like bent of a like bent. Are you up to such a challenge? Am I not Thanos? Did I not butcher the woman who gave me birth, who force-fed me into this hell called life? Is not the wake of my passing crimson with the blood of my enemies and allies alike? Death is with me every second of the day. My every moment is spent in either dealing out death or worshipping it. So tell me, who under the stars is better suited than I to be Death's consort? No one, but it is not I you need prove this to. Yes, that is what must be done. If proof of my depravity is what is needed, so be it. Behold, Mistress Death, Thanos' greatest creation. Allow me to introduce to you Nebula, my granddaughter. At least that's what she claims to be. So I took her at her word and made her my own. From a vigorous and healthy young thing I created that which now stands before you. My power and spirit sculpted Nebula into walking death. Limbs twisted, flesh charred and cracked and nearly mindless. By all rights the wench should be dead, but yet she lives. She exists on a fine line between life and death, a limbo of sorts. My unearthly power maintains her balance on this precarious perch. Precarious perch. Nebula has no hope of unconsciousness or true death, relieving her continuous horror and agony. She is my living tribute to the blasphemy of life and the glorious promise of death. Do not turn your back to me, woman. Titan, Mistress Death finds your boasts empty and your bravado distasteful. Makes him explode. Mistress, you will address me directly or not at all. I do not comprehend this attitude of yours, mistress. All I seek is your love and approval. But all I receive from my Herculean efforts is your disdain. What have I done to deserve such rejection? Perhaps it is what you haven't done that riles the maiden. Of course. So engrossed have I been in the reveling in my newfound might that I've been remiss in fulfilling the obligation accepted during my past life. My love bade me to extinguish the light of half the universe's populace. It is a task I've yet to complete. How inconsiderate of me. My behavior has been inexcusable. No wonder you have been angry with me. A lover should always follow through on a vow given. As Thanos walks away, lifts his hand. He's really going to do it. Snaps his finger. Bagged myself a couple of burglars and 3 muggers. Here's Spider-Man. A typical night's work for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I was calling it quits and heading home when something like a wave of vertigo hit me. Then the old spider sense went off like it never had before. It felt like my skull was going to explode. Decided to come in for a landing until it passed. When the old had cleared, I found myself staring down at the crowd milling around Times Square. Even at this late hour, the place was still jumping. Did I skip a page? No. Why couldn't I have just kept my eyes shut just a few seconds longer? But I didn't, so I ended up witnessing a sight that I'm sure will haunt my dreams for years to come. There is no ominous warning, not one storm cloud heavenly voice, nor any of the kind of things you'd think would accompany such a cataclysmic event. Nothing. Just half the people down in the square merely vanished. At first I thought I was losing my mind, flipping out. But then the street crowd confirmed the reality of the nightmare. Charlie, where'd you go? My baby. Who or what could have done this? Had only Times Square been affected? Or was this happening all over the city? Then it hit me. Mary Jane. I just stopped by Avengers HQ to go through some computer files involving a case I was working on. Everything seemed peaceful enough. I should have known it wouldn't last. I didn't expect to find Hawkeye in from the West Coast, keeping Cersei company during her stint on monitor duty. Cap, I found that file you were asking about. Thanks, Cersei. I was reaching for the file when it happened. They were disappearing. There was absolutely nothing I could do. They were gone. Nothing at all. I felt so helpless and scared because deep down inside I knew this was only the beginning of something that was destined to become much bigger and more horrible than anything the Avengers had ever before faced. When you're the chief honcho of S.H.I.E.L.D., you expect it to hit the fan occasionally. But I never figured I'd get this bad this quick. This is Nick Fury now. No, Mr. President, we're still trying to figure out what happened. Yes, half of my crew vanished also, sir. We're getting reports from all over the globe. As soon as I know, sir, so will you. Goodbye. Size section telemetry shows nothing, Nick. Terrific. Half the human race just up and vanishes. And the world's greatest spy network can't figure out what caused it. I got a nasty feeling about all this, Val. This one's going to be bad. Real bad. New bulletins coming in indicate that humans are not the only creatures falling victim to the Great Disappearance. Cattle farmers report that half their herds have vanished. Indeed, scientists believe half of all animal life on the planet has disappeared along with the missing human victims. Many pet owners have. I've heard enough. So it's happening everywhere, not just here on Broadway, not just to Rick, but the abomination is involved somehow. So that's where I start. When I became Empress Sybil of the Skrull Empire, I never expected the post to be easily handled. But this is far more than I ever dreamt I'd have to reckon with. From even the farthest reaches of the Empire come reports of massive disappearances. I believe there can be no doubt who is responsible for this outrage. None whatsoever. Only our ancient enemy would dare such a blatant act of aggression. The Kree must pay for this villainous deed with blood. Let there be war. A sense of great lineage came upon me, one I could not explain away. All over the universe, I can feel them. Master, I feel. Wong. What the? Biogoth. Wong is gone. Wong. They're all dying. Billions upon billions of souls are blinking out of existence. What are you talking about? Not one knew what struck them. Horrible. I could taste their dread and confusion. They are in part of death now. Just too much to bear, too much. Few know that life exists on Saturn's moon Titan. There within the bowels of the artificial satellite lives a race of demigods in a peaceful paradise. It is the home of the Titans. My home. And so I urged my friend Firelord to return with me to Titan. Dear mentor, I feel it would be the great service to us in any future struggle against evil Thanos. So this is Mentor and Eros. These are Thanos' brother and father. I am most certain he would, son Eros. I have heard much about you, friend Firelord, and welcome you. What? Father? Father? What firehead do, old man? This be not my doing, Emerald One. Yes, stay thy hand, destroyer. Attention, attention. Priority alert. What is that, Isaac? Reporting planet-wide phenomenon. Half of population has suddenly vanished without trace. I currently have no explanation for the occurrence. Thanos, Thanos, Thanos. I think we were all adjusting pretty well to our new pods. I lost my Bricket look, and the babe was keeping busy stitching together a new outfit. It seems strange having to do something like sewing again. I like being back myself. I missed this reality with all its different places to go, things to do, tastes to savor, people to annoy, and hey, where you go? Of course I kept my head straight, didn't panic. Help, help, she just went and vanished. It's not my fault. You gotta do something, and oh no, a fat lot of help you're gonna be. From bad to worse. Next issue. So that's a pretty packed first issue. Thanos destroys half of the universe. Half of the living creatures in the universe are eliminated by him. I'm watching this show on HBO, The Leftovers. And whoever created that, starting to think maybe they read this story as a kid and it stuck with them, because that show is basically about what if half of the people disappeared, just vanished. Maybe it's really the Infinity Gauntlet story. Obviously not, but okay. So maybe I will read the issues. So we have number 6, number 5, number 4, number 3, and here's number 2. So you know what? Let's just do the issues, because trades are nice, but not as nice as the issues. This one has a really sticky back. Gets really loud if you just pull it. So, yeah, it got a little too loud, so I had to skip through. So again, we have this one is totally mint condition, better than the other one. Look at that! Holy, corners are perfect. No, not even a visible spine stress. Maybe slightest bit. This would be a 9.46, I'd say. I'll put the bag and board aside. I am guessing this one has never been read just by how it looks, so we're going to be the first ones to read this here book. Okay, so let's get it. Get right into it. Yeah, see how it just sits like as if it's never been opened. Oh, these cards are great. I actually have some of these, and maybe I'll do a video of them. Actually, yeah, that's a great idea. So it's got the characters on it, and if you flip it around in the back, it shows their power profile, like a scale of 1 to 10 on power, intelligence, endurance, psychic abilities, all that stuff. So me and my brother used to, the card game of War, where you just throw down cards, and whoever has the highest card wins. Well, we would play War with these. We would throw down cards, and it would be like Thing versus Daredevil, and then we'd have an argument of who would win that fight. That was a lot of fun. I feel like playing that as an adult would be even more fun. But it's tough to find adults to play that with. But if any of you guys want to come over and play War with Marvel cards, let me know. Not even kidding. Okay, so let's get into issue number 2 of the Infinity Gauntlet. All is right in the heavens, for Thanos possesses the 6 Infinity Gems. The universe will now be set right, made over to fit my unique view of what should be. Let nihilism reign supreme. Now, while I read, I'm not going to push the pages down because I want to keep it looking unread. So bear with it if it does that. From bad to worse. Flightbot was circling for clearance to land when the Great Disappearance struck it, took out both the pilot and co-pilot. The jet finally ran out of fuel and augured onto Fifth Avenue. A pretty clean hit, really. Those passengers were lucky the Avengers were on hand to help out, and luckier still that Thor was passing by. But he can't be everywhere, and the whole world's currently the one big emergency. Just hang in there, folks. We're coming. I have a seriously injured woman in first class. It's too much, Viz. Not even the Avengers can handle what's coming down. But we must try, She-Hulk. We cannot surrender to despair. When the first reports of the Great Disappearance come in, I'm in the office at Vaughn Security Systems wondering what I can do to help. This is Quasar, who I am reading from the beginning, and I'm really into it. I'm only about 5 issues into the first Quasar story arc, or first Quasar solo run. And his origin, it's pretty interesting. He's basically these quantum bands where anyone who put them on was basically exploding. And he found, because he was generally depressed and lacked a fighting spirit, was a calm guy, that when he put them on, he could wield the power without exploding, because the quantum bands are linked to your emotions. So pretty interesting start to his story, and I'm very surprised how much I like it. So maybe we'll do a read through of that one day, the Quasar series. Might be relevant, Figure Epoch might have some answers. Epoch is the alien that lives in his security offices, this guy, he's a cosmic being. But before I can ask him, join us, my champion, Epoch. Who's that in there with you? One who has made clear to me just how perilous this universe's current situation is. And so, the Cosmic Guardian Quasar must now undertake a new mission. We've an astral rendezvous to arrange. Ship's log, Captain D.C. reporting. Bulletins continue to flood in from all over the Kree Empire. Half of our people have mysteriously disappeared. There can be no doubt who is responsible for this outrage. This tragedy reeks of Skrull treachery. The entire fleet has been put on red alert status. We go to join the Armada. The war to end all wars begins. Glory to the Kree Empire. The condition of my unexpected house guest was such I thought it burdened to seek an outside consultation on the matter. Fortunately, Dr. Henry Bim happened to be in town. The sugar seems to be regaining his strength. The surfer, sorry. He's regaining his strength just by lying in the sun. With his alien physiology, it was the best remedy I could come up with. Well, it appears to be working. I must be going now, Stephen. I should be with the West Coast Avengers, what with this great disappearance going down. I'll brief them on what you've told me. You'd best contact the original Avengers directly. Of course, Master. Is something wrong, Master? Speak to me. Doctor Strange, can you hear me? Yes, though I've never before been contacted quite in this manner. Who are you? One who may be able to save your reality from the insanity that is Thanos, but I cannot do it alone. The only hope your universe has is the banding of all champions of righteousness under one leader. I must be that leader. Then your first task is to convince them otherwise. I doubt Earth's defenders will blindly follow someone who just popped up out of nowhere. You are a stranger to me, creature, one I myself see no reason to trust. There is a method by which that obstacle to progress can be overcome. I could open my soul to you, but in doing so your soul would be bared to me. It's not an experience I would normally opt for, but the danger that confronts us is too great. I must take the risk. Be warned, though, if I sense any treachery, you shall learn to your dismay why I am known as the master of the mystic arts. So be it, a melding of souls. I didn't realize the things you've seen, all so clear to me now. Master, with whom do you speak? You now have my complete trust. I will aid you any way I can. My instruments indicate that the force responsible for the great disappearance originated on the far side of the galaxy. I have never before encountered such powerful readings, yet I'm picking up similar emanations from a small town in upstate New York. These transmissions are being directed to the home of Dr. Stephen Strange. What is the connection? This is a question I must have answered, for this is my universe. These are my people disappearing, and no one should dare tamper with what belongs to Dr. Doom. Plus, there is the fact that great disasters of this magnitude also present a curious intellect with great opportunity. A chance to expand on my scientific knowledge, personal power. Things going bad on Titan. Destroyer not sure what's happening. Old man Mentor goes bye-bye, and then subspace transmission indicate that the mass disappearance is a universal phenomenon. Half the galaxy's population blinked out of existence. A lot of dead people. Horrible. I'm not sure how he did this, but I'm positive this is my brother Thanos' doing. If I could, arrows. Arrows. First Mentor disappears, now Arrows vanishes. What's next? Don't Firehead mean who's next? I've been in many a difficult situation in my life, but I know the very moment I open my eyes that this is a whole new cosmic level of trouble. I immediately recognize the legendary infinity gems my brother wears as the source of his newfound might. And if that weren't bad enough, a few feet away stands powerful Mephisto, the devil, you say. Yes, sir, I'm into it up to my ears this time. And there's Mistress Death, a regal sight I'd hoped never to see. It takes me a while to realize who the stumbling wreck wandering about is. Thanos' granddaughter Nebula. She's a real mess. 'Tis a family reunion, my dear brother. Let the old Nebula and yourself greet and befriend the new, my lover and mate, Death. Mephisto is but an advisor. But brother Thanos, how can this be a family reunion without father being present? Mentor was not invited, nor will be. Father was a dangerous man, which is why I was made sure he was among the disappeared. He would have tried to abort my vision of the future. I could not allow that. Ultimate power is now mine, and I shall reshape the universe with it. Nothing must interfere with this holy mission. Then nothing shall. Everything is going to work out just the way you want it to, my brother. And if there's anything I could do to help, like using your emotion manipulating powers on me, what say we see how charming you could be, Arrows, without your mouth? That is how it shall be with all things that irritate proud Thanos. Annoyances will simply cease to be. Here's the update on the tally of disappeared heroes. And here they are. Buck. Power Man. Most notably, I guess, is Beast, Black Panther, Thing, Hawkeye, Mr. Fantastic. So Reed Richards is not even here for the... Looks like all the Fantastic Four gone. Daredevil. Still no word on the X-Men or Excalibur. No, maybe they're off the planet. Feel crummy doing this, but even in the midst of this chaos, I've got to cover that I'm not the original Thor. I fought by the side of many of those fallen. They shall be mourned deeply. This is bad, real bad. It doesn't get any worse. You sure about that, Cap? You absolutely sure? I, great Odin, didst witness half my people vanish in the twinkling of an eye. The ceremonial eye patch of sorrow did I immediately don. And I did look about and see this catastrophe was a universal plague. Which is why I did summon you to Asgard, my fellow Sky Fathers. Each of you is the supreme leader on a population of deities and a mighty power in your own right. So sitting around this table is Zeus of Olympus, the Mayan god Zamna, Osiris of Egypt, the Celtic god Nuada, Manitou, an American Indian spirit, Svarog of Russia, Tizcatlipoca, the Aztec deity. My mystic senses do warn that the peril we face is of such immense power that it shall take our combined might to overcome it. I feel the same. Then let it be agreed that we shall face our enemy as a united fighting force, and let our foe beware. We are with you, brother Odin. The Sky Fathers stand as one. 2,000 light years from Earth. Well, we're here. Now what? Now we wait patiently. Wait for what? For the moment to happen. I'm still cooling my heels in that roach motel waiting for the boss man to make his grand return from the land of sleeping bag cocoons. Luckily, I finally found a channel on the boob tube that wasn't obsessed with filling every second of airtime with coverage of the Great Disappearance. Who would have thought this planet capable of such highbrow entertainment? There's Alf on TV. Also like the way they brew their rot gut here. Beer's always played a big part in the life of Pip the Troll. Sure, maybe the rest of the universe is going down the tubes, but as long as I have a good smoke, a few brewskis, and some munchies, my world's okay. This is Jim Starlin's seemingly favorite character. He just always includes Pip the Troll. Unfortunately, the best parties always end too early. Hey, gotta hand it to him though. The guy really knows how to make an entrance. A real showstopper. Okay, Mr. Party Pooper, you fixed it so we can't stay here anymore. Where are we headed now? After Thanos. Terrific. Just what I wanted to hear. At the best of times, the resumption of lost consciousness is a jarring, disorienting experience. But a moment like this, it can be devastating. I warn you, Doom, you meddle in dangerous matters you do not fully understand. Then you shall enlighten me or suffer further discomfort at my servant's hands. Doom, unhand my comrade, or I shall fall victim to a superior intellect and power as you did in our last encounter. How do you understand, my dear? The pleasures of having family visit. Amusing, aren't they? Mistress Death doesn't appear to think so. Well, that situation can be easily remedied. New entertainment can be devised. By the heavens, Thanos' newly acquired power has obviously deranged him. He's gone completely insane. In his current state of mind, anything is possible. He might, on a whim, destroy the universe. And that is how Thanos gained his vast power, and it came to aid the thwarting of his mad schemes. Then you are the entity I communicated with earlier. An amazing story and a barrel that rivals the coming of the Beyonder. It is a challenge we must meet and triumph over. There is but one way this can be accomplished. I must lead the forces of sanity against the Man Titan. By what right do you claim the mantle of leadership? A man who was supposed to have been killed nearly a decade ago while battling Thanos. Perhaps, but I alone am familiar with the secret workings of the Infinity Gems. That knowledge of this universe's only hope. A banner will gladly stand behind. What say you, Surfer? 'Tis better than following doom. Then raise your army and we shall see what comes of it. But is Warlock truly the best choice? He seems markedly different from the man I met on Soul World. There's so little anyone really knows about him, how can we be certain? Is this improvisation more to your liking, my love? What does it take to please please you. I've given your every wish in the universe to boot, yet still you deny me even the slightest of smiles. I strive only for your affection and approval. I would do anything to just once hear you speak my name aloud. Anything. The dark gods' anger and frustration are awesome in force. The psychic wave of power rises from the stellar monument of love and washes out into the ether. The first heavenly body to encounter the wave is a 20-million-year-old red giant star. Every law of nature revolts against this jewel's continued existence. Its end is breathtaking, yet it is but one of the many that will fall before the wrath of Thanos, the supreme being of this universe and reality. A planet I was about to consume crumbles beneath the Titan's rage, the second banquet of which he has cheated me. Yet I keep my anger in check, I have to, for I realize that even my staggering might is nothing compared to near infinite power Thanos now wields. But think not that Galactus plans to turn tail and run from this upstart demigod. Galactus is a being of power and intellect. Plans must be conceived and alliances formed. Only then may I savor the cold feast of vengeance. The readings on Thanos' destructive psychic emanations are astounding. The wave devastates nearly a quarter of the galaxy. It will only be at 2% of its peak strength when it hits that planet Nornred once talked me out of consuming, the one called Earth. I am lost. Dagger is gone. How can I go on? The truth is I have no reason to. The lady and I were linked in so many ways, two halves of a whole. I am better off dead. I can never. What? Good God, you saved our lives. That's right, lady. But it remains to be seen if I did any real favor. So New York City is in crumbles because of Thanos' psychic emanation. I'm hovering on the edge of space in a specially constructed Iron Man rig trying to get some better readings on certain off-planet energy signals. I suspect they have something to do with the Great Disappearance. Suddenly, every gauge of the sensor unit redlines. What? The force wave hits me like a runaway train and shorts every circuit in the suit. Fortunately, my backup system's able to kick in. That's when I see it. From this altitude, it's quite a sight, one that will surely give me nightmares for the rest of my life. Helplessly, I watched as the entire western coast of the United States breaks off and falls into the ocean. I know there's nothing I could do to help, but I have to try. I pick up on an Avengers Quinjet on the way down. We were coming in for a landing when it hit. There were millions of people in California alone. They're all gone. We just couldn't save them. It was all of a sudden like the end of the world. There was truly no method available to predict the approach of Thanos' destructive psychic onslaught. How was I to know how devastating it would prove to be? One moment, beautiful Asgard sat peacefully in a jewel of the heavens. A mere moment later, the home of the proud Norse gods was torn asunder. Its spires toppled, the rainbow bridge shattered. Dost thou feel the change? Aye, 'twas no simple earthquake. The turmoil has wrought interdimensional changes. The space-time continuum is shifted. We have been cut off from Midgard and its Asgard, unable to return and protect our homes. Blame not yourself, my brother. There was no way you could have known. I realize this, yet still my heart and soul damn me for a fool. I felt the tremors and traced them across the Atlantic Ocean floor to their source. What I discovered was the incredible. Not even I, Namor the Submariner, have ever seen such a magnificent sight. I don't know if it's submariner or submariner, who knows. But then my awe is tempered by the realization that the creation of these isles will have cataclysmic results. There will be tidal waves, probably even now heading toward the eastern coast of the United States. Namorita's the name. It's by sheer chance that I'm flying over Atlantic City. It's early morning and a young couple walk along the boardwalk alone, probably honeymooners. They hear the roar and look up to see approaching death. The wave is nearly a quarter-mile high. There'll be no escaping it. The wave crashes down and Namorita pulls them out. The young lovers are the only two people I managed to save. There's a Trump building getting washed away. It's Thor calling Avengers headquarters. You can inform Colonel Fury that the reports he received about the Isles of Japan are confirmed. They are no more. Thank Winghead for the recon when he returns. How'd Avengers HQ hold up to the quake? Cracked but still standing. Thank God for New York City bedrock. We're gearing up to the comm center for any paranormals who wish to help during the crisis. Good move, I'll spread the word. Out. Vision, what about our West Coast branch? I'm accessing them now, Captain. Wanda, progress report. We're setting up a house in Vegas, calling in the reserves. Same here. We're going to need all the help we can get. Things are getting pretty ugly out there. It appears everyone fared fairly well thanks to Doctor Strange's hastily cast spell of protection. What was that? Obviously an earthquake. Something got teed off. Exactly. Preparations for war next. Alright guys, so that's it. We got through the first two issues of the Infinity Gauntlet story arc, basically setting up the big battle. Who are the big players? We have Adam Warlock, Silver Surfer, Captain America, Thor. So far, those seem to be even Galactus. So I'm just going to put this back in the bag. Okay, so guys, the next video we're going to read Infinity Gauntlet number 3 and number 4. And then after that we'll read 5 and 6. And that'll complete our Infinity Gauntlet reading. If you guys want, we'll do the Infinity Gauntlet aftermath afterwards. And maybe just continue on to the Infinity Crusade. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just move on to another series or something. I have a lot of ideas for different videos, so I have a lot to get to. I'm going to try and make 1 or 2 more videos before Christmas and the break, which I will be taking maybe for about a week and a half, where I probably won't do any videos. So I'll try to do a couple before then. Alright guys, that's it. This is Jay from ASMR for Nerds, saying goodnight.